Welcome back to the Thrifty Food Plan channel, friends. If you're new here, I am Jay, and I'm sort of the creator slash facilitator of our little YouTube community. We are so glad that you found us. This is the video that I do at the end of each month to kind of recap sort of how well I did on my grocery budget, how well I did in terms of buying foods that are nutritionally good for me, and also setting the grocery budget for the next month. Now, I do want to acknowledge for the regular viewers of this channel, you haven't seen me in a while. I have been totally underwater with work. The way I work in public education, it's kind of the genre in which I do my consulting work, and everything is due on June 30th. So I have been really underwater with work. So I'm leveling out a little bit, and you should start seeing more regular content again. But it is time to do the recap of how I did on my June grocery budget and to set the stage for the July grocery budget. And the Phenom is going to be home for she's going to be with me parts of the month of July. So I'm super excited. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so in the month of June, I was budgeting off of the April 2023 Thrifty Food Plan. That was the most recently available USDA Thrifty Food Plan when I built my budget. And in the month of June, the Phenom was with me 1 week, and then the other 3 weeks it was just me. So based on all of the math from the USDA Thrifty Food Plan, the maximum that I was allowed to spend just on food in the month of June was $305.25. Just food. Okay, so let's look at what I actually spent. So I did my first shop of the month, I spent $37.86. Second shop of the month, I spent $41.64. Now, there was a third shop you all did not see, so let's talk about that. Okay, so there was one shop that I did not film and share with you all during the month of June, and that is when I went to go visit my sister and the college Phenom at the program that she was doing where my sister lives, and also got to see my mother. So I was there for like a long weekend, and the way that we ended up divvying up the food costs is that the college Phenom and I made dinner for everybody one night. My sister took me to a grocery store I had not been to before called Harris Teeter. That was a very expensive grocery store. Anyway, we bought things. It was my sister, her husband, their 2 children who are young children, me, the college Phenom, and my mother. And we had to buy like some particular things for the children. It was a little difficult to find something that was plant-based that everybody would eat, that we could add some meat product to make it more yummy for the children. It was a little difficult. So you'll see, like, I bought Harris Teeter was just expensive, and then there were some specific things that my niece and nephew wanted that were expensive. So anyway, let me show you this shop that we did to make a family meal while I was visiting my sister. So at the Harris Teeter, I bought things basically to make a big spaghetti dinner for everybody, a vegan spaghetti dinner. Bought some mozzarella cheese for everybody to put on top for the omnivores. Made that with a big side salad that was just kind of kale and some veg. The kids don't eat salad, so I bought them some baby carrots. The kids also liked a particular kind of pasta sauce, which is why I spent $7 on pasta sauce. Kind of incredible. And then the niece and nephew requested a specific item that you see in the miscellaneous column for dessert. They wanted the Annie's brand makes a birthday cake flavored kind of cookie. They're called bunnies, and that's what the kids wanted. So I picked that up. And then also there was some tax, but you can see here, like dairy, $1.99 for that mozzarella cheese. I did buy the Tofurkey brand plant-based Italian sausage, which is delicious, but not something I normally buy. But because I was cooking for omnivores, I thought a little bit of meat-like things in the spaghetti would be good. So I did buy that. Spaghetti noodles, some lemons, and fruit, and then veg. I bought the pasta sauce, a red pepper, chopped some of that to go in the spaghetti, but also some in the salad, a big bunch of kale, the baby carrots, and then miscellaneous was dessert. And there was a non-food item for tax. And tax goes into my household and personal item budget, which we'll look at in a minute. So this is everything I bought at the very expensive Harris Teeter grocery store to make one dinner for 5 adults and 2 kids. I spent $27.40 on that shop. That's just a lot. I want to acknowledge that, but that was my contribution to the household food when I was at my sister's house. So shop number 3 spent $27.40. And then at the end of June, I did a little filler haul to get me through the end of the month. And I spent $15.85 on that shop. What that means is that I spent $122.75 on food items at the grocery store during the month of June. So I came in under budget by a whopping $182.50. So I'm going to give myself an A because I feel like that is pretty darn good. But if you feel like I'm inflating my grade, let me know down in the comments below. You know, this is an art, not a science, how I assign the grades. So I appreciate any feedback you have about that sounds about right, or Jay, let me know if you feel like I'm grade inflating. All right. The other thing I love about the USDA Thrifty Food Plan is that it does provide us nutritional guidance. It sort of tells us what percentage of our overall dollars we should be spending in each nutritional category. Because when you're buying foods in a very thrifty and frugal way, you're more likely to not get your nutritional needs met. So when I look at everything that I bought across the month of June, I spent about 10% on dairy, 28% on protein foods, 7% on grains, about 9% on fruit, about 30% on veg, and about 16% in the miscellaneous category. This is more balanced than kind of how I spent my money in the month of May. And so I think I'm going to give myself an A- here. Clearly, one of the things that I am kind of struggling with a little bit is that when the college phenom comes home or when I am cooking for omnivores, my protein costs do go way up because the meat products, I'm mostly a whole food plant-based vegan when it's just me. The meat products just cost more. And y'all have given me some tips in the past about, different kinds of meats that I might be on the lookout for. Like a lot of y'all have encouraged me to buy like chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts when the college phenom is home, for example. She is going to be with me. You'll see when we do the July budget, she is going to be with me a lot in the month of July. So I would appreciate in the comments below any and all tips y'all have about cost-effective meat products. For her, that includes fish and steak and pork and chicken and she eats all the things, all the meat products, eggs, all the things. And then I think like the other thing I just want to keep an eye out for, is that miscellaneous category. I've done a video before about how I'm not going to beat myself up about the miscellaneous costs They did come down from May to June, so I feel pretty good about that. But they are more than what I'm supposed to be spending. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on that as we do grocery shopping in the month of July. And I just realized the header for this slide should say June 2023, not May 2023. Apologies for that error. Now, the final thing that I need to check in on in terms of my spending were my household and personal items, what I spent for those in the month of June 2023. Now, I base this budget based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, and I will put a link into that spreadsheet and video down below. But what the Bureau of Labor Statistics data says is that when it is a two-person adult household, you can expect to spend about $24.58 a week on personal and household care. Now, if that sounds like a lot to you at top, it's important for you to know that that includes things like a haircut. If you pay a professional to cut your hair, it's included in that dollar amount. If you get a manicure or pedicure, included in that amount. Get your eyebrows waxed, included in that amount. It also includes things like toilet paper and shampoo and all of that as well. When it is a one-person household, it is $12.95 a week is the thrifty level allotment for one person. So when I did all the math for household spending, when I was constructing the June budget, separate from my food budget, the maximum I was going to be allowed to spend on household and personal items and services was $63.43. And I spent $26.79 total in the month of June. Now, the other thing that I include here is when I get charged tax at the grocery store, I put that in here because I can't eat the tax, so it doesn't go in the food budget. So I was allowed to spend $63.43 and I spent $26.79. So I came in more than 50% under what I could have spent, under budget by $36.64. So I'm giving myself an A here. Now, again, if you feel like I've grade inflated, if you feel like I should have an A plus, give me all your feedback down in the comments below. Okay, so my overall report card for grocery spending, food items, and household and personal care items and services for June 2023, I have given myself an A for food spending, an A minus for nutritional spending, and an A for household spending. Again, in the comments below, if you feel like I have grade inflated, if you've got other feedback for me, if you're seeing trends in my spending that I'm not seeing and thinking about, please put all of that down in the comments below because y'all really do help hold me accountable for doing this well. All right, let's look ahead to the July 2023 grocery budget, food budget, and the household and personal care budget. Okay, as I'm constructing the budget for the month of July, very exciting. The college phenom, my daughter, is coming home. She will be with me part of the time and with my co-parent and her step-parent part of the time. So I'm going to estimate that as like 2 weeks with me, 2 weeks with the co-parent and phenom, and step-parent. So there'll be 2 weeks when I'm estimating the phenom is going to be with me and 2 weeks when she's going to be with her other parents. That said, the phenom and I are taking like a mini vacation this week. We're going to do a road trip to my favorite place in the world, Moab, Utah, and we will be there for 5 nights. So there's also a little travel mixed in this month, but I save up every year to be able to do 5 nights in Moab, and when I have more money, I do 7 nights, but this year it's 5 nights. 5 nights in Moab. I'm so excited. So college phenom will be here. Let's take a look at what the USDA Thrifty Food Plan says I should be spending on groceries this month. Okay, so there is a new USDA Thrifty Food Plan that is available, and it is based on their guidance based on grocery costs in May 2023. So this is the USDA Thrifty Food Plan that I'm going to use to construct my July budget. Now, I know looking at what is going to be happening in the month of July that the college phenom, my daughter, is going to be with me for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, I need to construct a budget that includes both of us. So first, I need to see what the weekly allotment is for a 51 to 70-year-old female. So if I go over here, that's me. So my weekly allotment is $51.80. $51.80. And then I need to see what the allotment is for a 14 to 19-year-old female. Her allotment is $56.90. $56.90. Then, if we go down to footnote 3, the USDA says that when you're a 2-person household, you need to add 10%. So I'm going to add $51.80 and $56.90, and I'm going to multiply that by 0.1, which is 10%. Okay, so $10.87 is that 10% premium, and I'm going to add those 3 things together. So when in the weeks that the phenom is with me, the maximum I'm going to be allowed to spend on food is $119.57. Now, there are going to be 2 weeks I'm estimating that are just me, so that'll be $51.80 when it's just me. And then the USDA Thrifty Food Plan does say that when it's a 1-person household, you're supposed to add 20%. So I'm going to take $51.80 and multiply that by 0.2. That's 20%. So in the weeks that it is just me, I'm going to be allowed to spend $62.16 on food. So let me just do the math here so you can see it. So what I need to do is I need to multiply $119.57 by 2, because I got 2 weeks with the phenom. And then I need to add 2 weeks where it's just me. So the maximum I'm going to be allowed, is that right? Holy moly, y'all. Is that right? Let me do that math again. So $119.57 times 2 weeks plus $62.16 times 2 weeks. Holy moly. $363.46 is the food allotment. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, I'm starting to panic a little bit. Okay, so when we look at household and personal care items, what the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates is that at a thrifty level, when it is 2 people, could expect to spend up to $24.58 a week. So I've got 2 weeks where that's going to be true. I'm going to multiply that by 2. And then in the weeks where it is just 1 adult, which would be me, it's going to be $12.95 a week. Okay. And again, I will link the video about household and personal expenses, which includes a spreadsheet. I will link that for everybody down below. So what that means is my household and personal care budget for the month of July is 7506, which means my total grocery budget, food, household, personal care, $438.52. That is so much money. That's so much money, y'all. I mean, my expenses are variable because the Phenom isn't always with me. And it's cheaper when it's just me, right? When she's with me, it goes up a lot, but $438.52. That feels like a lot. I will take any and all feedback y'all have for me below. $363.46 for food for the month and $75.06 for household and personal care for the month. That's an enormous amount of money. Woo! All right, everybody. So that is the report card that I gave myself for grocery spending in the month of June. If you all think that I have inflated any of my grades, want to give me any pushes on that, please do so down in the comments below. And then as I look toward July, I think one of the things kind of I'm grappling with is, in my groceries are a part of like my larger overall budget. And one of the challenges really with being a co-parent and having a child that's not home all the time is that my expenses can really vary. They can vary a lot, and month to month, week to week, depending on when she's here. And, I'm not exactly sure I have all the money in my larger budget for what the USDA says I should be spending in a frugal way on highly nutritious foods. Not sure I have all that money in my bigger budget. So for those of you who might have like variable food expenses because you've got folks who come in and out of your house, how do you think about like your grocery budget in the context of your larger budget when your grocery budget can be variable? I'd appreciate y'all's thoughts on that because it's, I think I can make it work, but that's just it's a lot of money and I just don't know. So anyway, those of you who have variable income or you have variable people entering and exiting your household over a month, I'd love to understand how you all deal with kind of variable income and expense in your larger budgets. As always, I just want to thank those of you who watch until the very end. I deeply appreciate each and every one of you who are part of this channel. Do be on the lookout in the next couple of days for a new grocery haul because I am almost completely out of food. And I mean like I am down to the bare bones. So anyway, I will see you again in a couple of days. Thank you so much for visiting.